really, for the past year or two, it's been like only just drugs, just crystal, and just everyone I know does it, and that's the only thing I know.
We're talking today about the dangers of crystal meth, and after Sarah was picked up by the police, she successfully completed a 28-day program of rehab. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sarah to the show. Sit down, talk to me. Talk to me.
Wow. 14 years old, I started crystal meth, and my life has been pretty crazy ever since.
How old are you right now?
17 years old.
17 years old.
Yeah.
I gotta do this. I really do. You have to help me do this. But I want to take people on a very quick 3-year journey in Sarah's life from the first time she took a hit of meth till the day before we sent you to rehab. Give them some highlights. You had to prostitute yourself?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the first time, because the first time a guy actually took you to a party, took you to a dealer,
Yeah.
did he not?
Yeah, I thought he was my friend, you know, he would hang out with me. A couple of times we hung out, and then he called me up and he said, hey, you know, we're gonna party tonight, you know? They gave me a lot of drugs, not just crystal, but like everything there was that they had.
And up until this point, you had not been using drugs? You had not tried them?
I hadn't had anything.
So this night they do this to you, and just so some young lady sitting at home and some of you sitting here know, that night after they drugged you up, what did they then do to you?
They took me in a room, and there was only one guy. He wouldn't let anybody else in, and they took naked pictures of me.
And put them up on the internet?
Yeah.
So first day high, now the world sees you naked.
Yeah.
And from that point forward, Sarah, talk about you ended up using then from that moment every day.
Every single day. It was just completely dedicated from the moment I woke up to finding, you know, the dealer.
You're 14 years old.
I was 14, yeah.
No money?
No money at all.
No way to get to and from?
I couldn't even get a job. I couldn't get a job. I was too young. I didn't have any money. I didn't know a lot of people. I just had to work with whatever I had.
So at age 14, how are you getting your drugs, girlfriend?
14 years old, being horribly naive, you know. I didn't know what was really going on. I had boyfriends that were 18 and older, anywhere from 20 to 24 to 28.
You call them boyfriends, but you had perverts because you were 14.
Yeah.
Let's get this straight. So you had a whole bunch of perverts taking advantage of a 14-year-old girl, making sure she stayed high.
Stayed high.
Making sure she brought her friends to get high.
Yeah. They just used me for people I knew. And
you were bringing your friends over, they're getting your friends high, doing the same thing to them that they did to you.
Yeah.
Taking naked pictures.
Little young girls, very naive.
Your age and younger.
Very young.
Well, these people that are calling themselves your boyfriend, you're obviously being intimate with, correct?
Yeah.
And so you're 14, so they're giving you drugs, you think you're being intimate with your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of them attempted to pimp you out, did they not?
They would say anything. I love you. If I love you, then you'll do this for me, because you're supposed to love me too. I'm your boyfriend, you know. I get you drugs. You know, this is how it's supposed to be, and little things like that, and I had no idea what was really going on. I was so high.
But here's a 14-year-old girl in the company of men 18 and older being asked to recruit her 14 and 15-year-old friends into this world. And I mean, in the schools you weren't going to school at this point in time, correct?
School,
ducking in, ducking out?
Yeah, my mom would call the school, and she would ask them, I don't know what to do, you know. My daughter is gone. I can't find her. It was to the point where she'd call so many times saying that I was gone. The police would just sort of kind of ignore it. There were times when I remember I'd had to figure out how I'm going to sleep, you know, sleep tonight.
And let's talk about sleeping then. There are times that you used to climb yourself. We had pictures of them in the tape. Climb into dumpsters?
Yeah, there'd be a lot of things I'd have to do to protect myself. I had to keep switchblades on me that, you know, my boyfriends would give me. Switchblades, I had knives, I had,
But all that stuff they gave you to protect you, and I hate to put you through it this way, but how many times have you been raped?
6 times.
And this girl is 17 years old.
I would be crashed out at parties. I remember a lot of times at the end of my run, you know, like at the end of the week.
Talk about what you mean by at the end of the run, because when you're doing meth, I'm telling you, these guys can stay up for 5, 7, 10 days in a row, not having to sleep at all. So you're partying with a whole bunch of people for 10 days in a row. Then, of course, somebody's got to crash. And as soon as this girl goes to sleep, you got 10, 15 vultures standing around in the room just waiting to prance, correct?
It was all the guys. I didn't hang out with any girls. I remember my friends that I had, they would make sure that the girls, you know, were separate. Each girl was in a different room. You know, these parties were really, they were completely just taking advantage of her girls, you know what I mean? Like, I had my own room, and I'd be doing all this dope, and when it was all gone, quickly I would crash out, really quickly. And I did. And
while crashed out, you have no idea what happened to you.
I was so out of it, completely
crashed
sleeping.
out, and I'm telling you, when you come down from this, it's not like you sleep for 4 hours, wake up. Sleep for 10 hours, wake up. You can sleep for 2 days straight.
Days in a row.
Wake up for a minute, 2 more days.
They told me they would ask me questions while I was sleeping, and I'd answer them, and I didn't remember anything. And
so
like,
there is no telling when you say 6 times you were raped.
Yeah.
Those are the 6 you remember.
These times I remember these things. Once I didn't remember. I remember once I woke up and it was completely over with. It was done. I had no say over it. My consent wasn't involved.
Look at this picture right there. I've seen some pictures of you when you were younger. A couple of pictures of you at age 14 before this started. And I'm not, listen to me, this is not a put down, but I want to make sure that other young ladies understand. You yourself can see your own skin. When you were younger, your skin was and this is also not juvenile acne, folks. You use so much meth, it starts coming back through your pores, through your skin in the form of boils and blisters. Because that chemical, it's made out of stuff like Drano. There are a bunch of yahoos that don't even have high school educations in garages taking paint thinner, turpentine, and other chemicals, putting it in a bucket, giving it to your child to shove up their nose.
Garages and bathrooms, you know, toilets and bathtubs and sinks and just whatever they can use to make it.
I'm going to take a little break. When we come back, it's been a month now, right?
Yeah.
You've been clean.
1 month.
That's been a hard month.
It's been the hardest month probably of my life.
It's not even the beginning of how hard it's going to be for you. You know that, don't you?
I know it.
Let me take a break. We'll be back right after this.